I'm going to introduce Lance Newman. So, where'd Lance go? There he is. Getting water. One must hydrate. I wish they brought the cups here. I may get water before you start. But glad to have Lance Newman here reading again. It's been 3 or 4 years, and last time he read, I think he read from this tiny book of Kanab sonnet poems. Do you remember that? At least you brought some of those, which were fantastic. Do you still have those available?
They're all sold out.
I've used them. I have them at school, so I show that little book as a cool artifact to my students. Says, you know, look, you can make little books. They're awesome. And it's really cool. You can hold in your hand. Awesome. Lance is the Associate Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences and Professor of English and Environmental Studies at Westminster College in Salt Lake City. He's the author of Our Common Dwelling, Henry Thoreau, Transcendentalism, and Class Politics and Nature, the editor of Grand Canyon Reader. His poems have appeared in print and web magazines in Australia, Canada, US, UK, including Beloit Poetry Journal, BlazeVox, Noria, Tell Motel, Opalus, Pemmican, Stride, Sugar House Review, and I always get this Ziziba. So that's a lot of Z's. His chapbook, the little chapbook, Come Kanab, and 3x3x3 are available for free on the web. If you don't know about 3x3x3, ask him, because it's a really cool project too. Please welcome Lance Newman.
Hi, everybody. Howdy. So this is 2015, right? The 100th anniversary of the execution of Joe Hill in what's now Sugar House Park. That used to be the federal penitentiary, federal or state? I've got that mixed up in my head. But anyway, he was executed by firing squad where the little kids' playground is now, in the, sort of at the low spot of Sugar House Park. And the Joe Hill Centennial Organizing Committee, which you can find information about at joehill2015.org, is planning an event for September 5th for the, which will include a concert probably in Sugar House Park. I'm sure there'll be readings and other events to commemorate his death. Joe Hill, for people who don't know, was wobbly, a member of the Industrial Workers of the World. He was a labor organizer who had immigrated here from Sweden, Norway, one of those places. And he was railroaded for a murder he didn't commit here in Salt Lake and executed as a way of bringing under control a series of mine strikes that he had helped organize. And he's sort of morphed into a local hero and really a national hero on the left. So this is a big year in Salt Lake. The last 75th anniversary was 25 years ago, and there was a big candlelight vigil and lots of other events then, but this one is even bigger. So just to commemorate, I'll read a few 3 poems out of this little book called Come Kanab, which, if you're familiar with the Bruce Springsteen song about the ghost of Tom Joad, right? These are poems about the ghost of Joe Hill wandering the American West. And they start off in San Diego and make a little spiral and end up in Kanab, Utah. Joe rolled through Glamis in the driver's seat of a dune buggy strapped to a tow bar behind Stan Johnson's salt white motorhome. Clouds of monarchs emigrated northeast and spattered the blue metal flake roll cage and spoiler with daisy yellow entrails. Fat grackles patrolled the road and inhaled corpses like race fans sucking down a keg. La fucking migra tailed him all the way through salt-killed fields and asphalt whoop-de-doos, past the chocolate mountains, through fields of blue primrose and mallow to Palo Verde. Joe scrambled for the tamarisk, laid low, and lost that punk in the Colorado. Joe passed Independence Day west of Winslow, just nodding out outside the Circle K, rolling fat buglers with Navajo Bob. Smoke snaked off their tongues when they chuckled All day they watched the pumps spin and read war headlines from the Arizona Republic. At quitting time, people stopped for low-fat milk, diapers, cigarettes, and hot dog buns. At 9:30, the fire chief set off a little display over the depot lot. At 10, half the little town pulled up laughing for Dixie cups of free ice, pints, more smokes. The rest parked at Sonic, free to eat a burger and fries on Ford's bench seat. Joe woke up on the Utah line, swaddled in his bedroll inside a tractor tire so big 4 maxed out a Freyhoff flatbed. He hollered out a song instead of fire. He skipped down at Spanish Fork brake check and hunted quarters in the shoulder's swale. A sign was stashed where anyone would look inside a Wilderness AT radial. Will work, God bless, sketched on greasy cardboard in genteel cursive. He worked the off-ramp to gather scratch for tickets out. Hard for folks to know to stop at the light or slam down to first and peel out for helper and price. Joe wasn't much to look at in the ice. Joe rambled down the Pony Express Road, south of Tooele, past the munitions dump. Quiet, mighty quiet out there. Some ticking sounded from the brush like code. He scrambled on hands and knees, hunted up a black carrion beetle lodged in a sheep hide stretched taut on bones, chewing old sinew and tendon to fresh white dust. They're burning nerve gas and expired anthrax out to South Depot today. Just one ridge holds the furnace and Orem apart. Strange how those sirens could stop us in our tracks. That beetle kept chewing a ligament like a beefy sheriff, made no comment. The last one of these. Joe whistled at a golden mongrel standing on the shoulder. It growled and eyed his hands. It kept tugging at a piece of roadkill, raccoon, bird, or maybe a shattered squirrel. He rushed that skinny dog and barked, "You're dead." It hunched forward, dropped its block of a head, focused on his knobby knee. Joe swung wide, scanning the shoulder for scraps, singing loud. "I'll keep the pieces they throw away, washed by rain and dried by sun. I'll make a solid meal to feed muscle and blood." That mongrel worried a bone, weighed Joe's words. "They'll leave me their leavings, their slag and burrs. I'll weld up a plow and plant us a world." I'll read a couple of these 3x3s since Joel mentioned them. The 3x3x3 project is a website that's been going since 2006, and it has now about 650 poems posted on it. It's an experiment, though I consider it an experiment, so every poem submitted gets posted. All data is included in the data set. And they are mashup poems of Google News articles, written by people all over the world, and occasionally people assign the 3x3 form as a prompt in writing classes. And the way it works is you mash up 3 articles using a text scrambler, and the poem has to be 3 stanzas long. Each stanza is 3 lines, and each line is a maximum of 60 characters. So just a few of these. Happy primate blockade. They're after ape language again and subversive self-awareness in crocodile seniors. They're facing uprisings in the finger-wagging streets, their trademark wilderness. Navy dolphins circle the Bronx like ultra-right militias, the spectacle, bald as mirrors. Bye-bye, electrical Houston. Welcome to our first online execution. The condemned array themselves in masks with swords and clubs. Angel-headed gamers botched the topless killings of 3 criminal spacewalkers. So our final method Reroute console wires past the straps for lethal burns. Oh, that's a good one. Propane circuit weekend. Fires leave pictures, leave prices, piles. My manager exploded right on camera. Ancient telescope sight. Tuesday's broken again. The last one. That DreamWorks treadmill. Animated Marines debut the Embassy a Go-Go. The marathon bungee revival. We expected orphans on ice. Time-traveling astronauts face-to-face in bibs. Teenage firecrackers detain a mutant sailor in gold cords, and bilateral youths box up another steep year. Those ones are fun mashups. So these, I want to try out a few different kinds of poems. They're really different. And but they're all mashups in a way. There's sort of two different kinds of poems here. One is documentary poems that involve me moving through space and writing down or recording what I see, and then working with that material. And then the others are mashups of text, and I'll do them in that order. This first one is called Utah's West Desert Lakeside Range. Two fences at the hazardous waste landfill. Barbed wire to stop people strung in front of orange plastic mesh to stop pronghorns. In wide bays eroded into the range, October hunters circle their pickups and travel trailers around pop-up awnings and propane grills. Orange-vested grandpas plink at tube televisions and plywood scraps in the U.S. magnesium plant's brown effluent cloud. A silver-tipped coyote shelters behind a berm of tailings in the plant's emergency assembly area. In an all-terrain vehicle with racked rifles, an old couple glasses the hills beside a galvanized water tank shot full of holes. Cool west wind spills over the low pass south of the bombing range, whistling in stunted junipers and greasewood. Even with bright sun, the harvester ants are dormant under bare circles spaced evenly across the playa. Three pronghorn lounge in a borrow pit behind the Air Force fence where black-eyed Susans flare in the visibility strip. A carrion beetle ambles through red succulents toward munitions bunkers built on a wide grid to contain accidents. Low brick barracks, a salvage yard stacked with rail cars, freight containers, ammunition crates, fuselages, and culverts. Road closed due to explosives disposal, but no blast craters in the caliche, just flood berms and a corral with a loading chute. Horned larks explode from the rabbit brush and perch on right-of-way markers for a natural gas pipeline. At the one turn in the road, a cross welded out of 3-inch pipe flies the American flag and plastic flowers. The Aragonite waste incinerator sends a pillar of smoke over the horizon, white as the new snow on Deseret Peak. So that's the story of driving in a circle around the lakeside range on the west side of the Great Salt Lake, out by the Air Force bombing range. This next one is about walking down the Miracle Mile in Chicago, and it's called Signage Transect. And it's, I'll just read it. Fidelity Investments, Chase, Bank of America boss, smile for your free photo, best steakhouse in Chicago, we're glad you're here. Burberry, Coach, please help, anything helps, homeless and disabled. Short-term flagship retail opportunity, thicker, fuller hair is yours. Swarovski, Cartier, Rolex, Citibank, celebrate with the best ultra-premium vodka. Additional 50% off already reduced prices. Nordstrom, Intercontinental, Marriott, Macy's, homeless, hungry, alone, cold and sick, please help. The next big thing is here. Guess, Ann Taylor, Levi's, Eddie Bauer, office space available, U.S. Equities Realty, free shipping, free returns. Aldo, H2O, Timberland, Crate and Barrel, Vector, Big Belly Compactor, bottles, cans, paper, recycling only, walk your bike on sidewalk. Brooks Brothers, Spitalfields, Top Shop, Top Man, please help if you can. Every little bit is appreciated. Illinois Lottery, $25,000 shopping spree. Nike, Home Goods, Men's Warehouse, Gap, we are creating an exciting new visual display. Please pardon our appearance. Banana Republic, Pink, Forever 21, Abercrombie & Fitch, forgive me, please, I'm hungry, hopeless, sleeping outside. Epic, a more mindful burger. American Girl, Neiman Marcus, H&M, Columbia, fresh, chopped, blended, handmade cosmetics. Download our free app today. Best pizza place in the US, Magnetic Nude, clean air hybrid bus. I have an 8-year-old son. We are homeless. Anything helps. New caramel flan latte bliss. Jamba juice, Buon Appetito, Bulgari, Best Buy, breakfast, coffee, pizza, sandwiches, gelato. Additional 60% off already reduced prices. Van Cleef & Arpels, Bloomingdale's, Max Mara, Gucci, please help me and my 2 girls. Delectable contemporary cuisine and cocktails. Omega, Louis Vuitton, Saks Fifth Avenue, Victoria's Secret, Rome, Milano, Tokyo, Paris, London, Moscow, Sky Vodka, Passion for Perfection, Salvatore Ferragamo, Ermenegildo Zegna, Giorgio Armani, Chanel, flagship retail space for lease, sale up to 70% off, caution, falling ice, caution. That was fun to read. It's the first time I tried it. This one is, I had to look up how to pronounce this, and I actually got to hear Jeff Bezos pronounce his own name. It's Jeff Bezos. So, this poem is a response to a challenge. An online magazine called Burfois invited me to submit a poem to a book of poems by Jeff Bezos, written by a bunch of different poets. So this is called Bezos Unbound, and it's another mashup of some Bezos biography material and other things. I, Bezos, with my troubled hand of God, tell an anecdote where relentless.com dies and a conveyor belt wants Bezos gone, but optical squid must be developed first. Academically so-so Bezos studied jobs. His parents paid minimum by the minute. Gritty teenage Bezos scavenged cubicles. No office, no facilities, just Albuquerque. Bezos, née Jorgensen, stalked marine predators and authored site blueprints. Bezos retailed soft skills on Discovery's fuselage and hedged kids would make their teachers click. The Bezos idea, command, attack, cheaper products, aesthetic operations. Long take, the money shot, Bezos zoning out at Sam's Club. I, Bezos, stared at the bioluminescent moment and swam in my customers' histories. Now, whirring kids take squiddy notes on Bezos and major in online retail. Bezos is necessary. He invented one-click stores. He aims to be a massive husband and father. Bezos, the mentor, is fucking apeshit on guidance. Get that kid right. Bezos buys leagues of books. After all, the public has a natural right to books. Awesome Bezos tells the camera that highly evolved submersibles will recover the post. Virtual behaviorist Bezos is right. So-called idea people look for favorite equations and jargon. Call me Bezos of bright warehouses, of intricate workers, of video science, of long-form fucking. American Bezos will film the ocean die. He's one elusive executive. If Amazon divorces Bezos, giant e-jellyfish will float failing URLs to prop the market. Shit, Bezos will mother the frozen future where teachers fund the workers' cinema. And the Bezos network will distribute shopping so virtual parents can coffee up their adopted monsters. The Red Sea will automate Bezos' pre-printed wife, shopping the French and German sites. Everything will be a Bezos opportunity where anyone can imitate self-conscious krakens fucking on video. Machines will catalog our fountains of ambition. The Bezos web will change how humanity wants itself. Jeff Bezos, his mark. Okay, one last one. You guys, can you take one more? ahead. This one's called Variations on My Life, after Lynn Hegenian, and it's a mashup of her book, My Life. It's got 3 sections. 1, a bit of flesh, enamel and cloth, a child, looked at me like history. Papa seated at the wheel, book worn, polished, bald, a tired landscape beckoning to a little thing who sings a laugh. I link to a picture every new war, always a beach with chirping and trills where birds won't harm my marigolds. Trees smile, and look there, it's 1969. How could I ever have wondered that such and such is art? And who needs aging? Time was, might anyone have been a magician? Airport time is normative, more a freedom than a shore. When your flight approaches and you're done to order, you can arrange it all from there. How can anyone find astrology interesting when the apple is in the pie? We work for love, for no one more than those who people the silence when the radio breaks. There is no solitude with carrots, radishes, and beans. Little silences hum between the big ones. 2. From chard and tomatoes by a judicious tree, from peas and garlic by the abundant sea, she chalks down order, determines the nature of progress. Despite the familiarity of roses, the certainty of matter, she does not linger on the birds. She's quite the child of immovable fact. Even the elephants at the circus are solid, the rings clotted with their knees. In her search for a hidden city, on a coast that never goes dark, she circles back, loops wide, where the headland turns the river, where everything is boardwalk and the dark layered with flowering shrubs. Her sleepy father stands at the rail. He dreams of a worn-out suit and the larger cars we drove at the time. Only now, of course, comes the comic satisfaction of knowing there was nothing he could have done. On her more faithless days, she says, there are some sights still surprising, say robins worming in the goldenrod, a lull in the activity of clouds, the old apothecary filling a jar in a fit of comprehension. She juggles sheep for sleep, apples for good luck. She does have a compulsion. For 8 years or so, the distance was birds, and every bird was really a word. 3. His daughter wanted a grammar where you wonder if when it's gone you can still speak. He had taken his fill of life already and declined his tired mind like a verb. She waited for the future perfect, then spilled the sugar. Goodbye will have been enough. His desk was seldom clean after his dreams of rose gardens gave the financial districts a thrill. She lacked patience for quiet landscapes, but her window gave her views of little airplanes. He insisted the child learn human history, reasoning out lines of verse to drive her forward. Her ice cubes melted in order as she took to napping, restless as old bottles of pop. He notified the agent of their plans, even though vacations always troubled his German side. He balked when, singing at the sunny window, she told him nature's garbage. Seeing her there at the sill, he knew a man, her lover, would know something on the dot. Her next song was too sweet in the original, but little sirens went off in another language. She was dreaming of an alternative to the triumphant bourgeoisie's artful disarray. Even coffee drinkers worked in the garden for all she knew, the obverse of a 9 to 5. At daylight, threadbare sparrows kept telling her of dusty grass and the lilac smell of rust. He still saw an outward likeness. She had the family shrug, but no head for money. Unexpected surprises always somehow correlated to ding-dongs out there on the telephone. She followed the high notes to a thirsty tenor practicing in the next street. They proceeded to the hidden monument, driving through an incomprehensible tunnel. She was astonished, but didn't care to multiply. She couldn't see a collision at their speed.